Hello, my name is Bishop Ernest E. Johnson Jr., prophet of Figueroa Church of Christ in Los Angeles, California. Today is October the 28th, 2025, and I kind of wanted to talk at random just about some general ideas that were going on in my mind and how I view some of the public comments or stories that I hear and, and in a general context, what I feel about life. You know, so many people in today's time have a story and everyone wants to be heard, so much so till they don't wait to become developed for whatever area of experience, expertise, or occupation or maturing process that God would have them to go through. So many times that I hear different individuals speak, I can tell they're coming out of a place of emotion or hurt, even when they appear to give an impression of having succeeded beyond others to tell their story and why they're right. You know, if you make it to a certain place in life, once you realize who you are in reference to another person or relationships that you've had, whether it be your immediate family or extended family or friends or those you've met along your pathway, once you know who you are, it's really not a big complaint about all the different things that you learn to achieve your goals or to become in life. So to point the finger at others and to say how successful and mature you are and how much you've achieved growing beyond a particular point, it just still shows that many of those individuals are still in a growing process and a process of evolving and a process of learning themselves. Because excuse me, once you become sure of yourself at any phase of learning or understanding that you're growing or developing in this life in light of your associations with others, you have an outlook of appreciation and happiness or a joyful feeling because you know you're the one that is growing. So there's no need to focus or have a focal point on the disadvantages of life and the things that cause us to become uncomfortable, that we may grow by some of the experiences that may not be pleasant experiences or others' view of who we are. And that's how you know that sometimes that individual has not got beyond the teachings of a domesticated learning process with their family and gone on, whether it be at college, whether it be whatever extended group or social group that's beyond your family that can enhance you, or for the individual to be in that process where they involve themselves in various groups or whatever groups that they deem as necessary within employment or beyond or the career place that can help you learn yourself, that can help you reference yourself in reference to other individuals. But it should always be a reference point where you could gain wisdom to understand that each situation that you go through is a situation to develop you to become more than who you were before. So when someone is a little bit older, or let's say somewhat mature, more mature than where you're at, just like fine wine or anything that develops or that gains a level of value over the years, they know the difference between your what was your practical conversation and presentation of whatever supposed achievements that you claim to have had. You know, it's good to wait until you're 50, or you've learned to mature to be quick to listen and slow to speak, to listen more than talking, because others that have already arrived at the place that you're learning can tell you're still a person that's developing, growing in a process, and you're not yet out of that process because you're coming from a negative place. Even though you're talking well of yourself, and the Bible says to let others speak well of you, you don't have the appreciation to look beyond the fault, or to not be so judgmental about what you go through or how others view you. You know, some phases others are going through are phases that they'll get out of. Some phases of your family, yeah, you grow beyond. But you know better than when you came from, even if you grow beyond them, when you judge where you came from. Never forget where you came from. Those type of persons have a high, lofty disposition. They always think they're higher than the next person, and they have a sense of self-entitlement and complacency in reference to appreciating others' struggle, or the viewpoint of another person, from the advantage to understand that there are different thoughts, different ideologies within this world, and that you're not the only one that's arrived at the high the high place. And I almost hate to say some of these things because it's a general context, but it's so poignant in being specific to so many people today, because that's all they're saying at large in this day and age, in the 2025, the 2024s, the 2026. You know, it's all about them. I mean, when is it that the self-realization of that individual self-reflects and starts to appreciate the little things, the growth, or the big things in life? And the reason they can't do that is because they can't grow beyond everything about the self. When you truly grow to a place of self-actualization, that person be, begins to understand not to reference everything in light of a direct you. It's all me, 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 almost in a sense of a narcissism, where the society is beginning to become so narcissistic individually. And it's not making me anything that I feel where uh, negative towards what I hear. It's really almost a bore and a tragedy that you can't help so many people that think they're already there. And they're so materialistic to the point where they reference everything with some materialism of their clothing, and to appear as if they have this monetary richness and just this outward exterior presentation of value, instead of the inward development of their character, and to know the real value of the substance of and depth of what a person can grow, whether it be education, whether it be your affiliation associations, whether it be your career, whatever goals that you have and set, even the very minimal of goals, you can feel good. But it's always good to measure yourself based on some standard uh, doctrine or system in light of being involved in a group. And I'm not saying to compare yourself to those in the group, but I'm saying to get out of yourself. You know, even if you have a higher learning, you have a bachelor's, master's degree. I mean, come on, get out of yourself. If your bachelor's or master's degree can't bring you the reward of your level of formalized education to where you content, and you haven't grown to a place of contentment to allow your life to speak for itself, and to allow the purpose of good that you carry out to be self-fulfilling, and also an aspect of reaching out to others and reaching beyond, so you could integrate with the good that you possess or that you would like to potentially grow and achieve. that in and of itself is a reward when you're the person that knows your fit in society. So I don't know if this is going to help anyone based on me giving a brief or what you may feel is a detailed description or an opinion about some of what I hear from the videos, from the presentations, from the this is my view or opinion. But you had to have some real value and depth. Even if others are listening to you, how long is that going to last with your quick pro quo or your quick idea of what you perceive life is at? And you really have a young disposition that hasn't outgrown a youthful thought. And if you're older doing the same thing and you haven't even measured to balance yourself with your appearance and how you represent and present yourself to where it adheres to some level of social norms, even within your uniqueness, others that are on that certain level already know you're not there. So it's really would behoove some of the people that I'm hearing to speak less, to be quick to hear or listen and slow to speak. But I mean, I can't tell the world or everyone to do what I'm suggesting, but you know, you're going to be heard or not heard. So that was just my thought for today. You be blessed.